has been complied with and that adequate advance notice of this meeting was given at least 48 hours in advance. On May 25th, 2018, notice was mailed to the Courier Post and the Aldeca. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board located by the reception desk at the central office and all school building bulletin boards within the district. Can we stand for the pledge of allegiance?
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to take the roll call. When I call your name,
I can say that.
Don't matter what numbers.
Teresa Atwood. Present. Catherine Blackshear. Here. Lydia Nelson.
Present.
Carmen Patel, excuse. Andrew Tolbert. Martha Wilson.
Thank you. At this time, we would like to ask that you rise once again. We have a special treat because it is Black History Month and in celebration of Black History Month, we have one of our students from the Creative Arts Morgan Village Academy, Miss Sydney Poole, who will lead us in singing, Lift Every Voice and Sing the Black National Anthem. Please stand. Thank you, Sydney.
Testing. At this time, the board will now go into a closed session to discuss the following matters: purchase of real property, litigation, and personnel matters. At this time, I call for a motion to go into closed session. Is there a second? The board will go, a motion was made by Ms. Martha Wilson and a second by Ms. Teresa Atwood. The board will go into a 30-minute closed session. The time is now 5:36. We return at 6:06. At this time, I call for a motion to come out of closed session. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? The motion to come out of closed was made by Ms. Teresa Atwood and second by Ms. Martha Wilson. All in favor? All not in favor? Okay, we are now at closed session.
Thank you, Anissa. At this time, we will transition down to the front row. We'll have our board members transition down, and I will share the superintendent's report. All right, good evening, everyone. We will begin this meeting with our superintendent's report. It is so wonderful to see so many young people here tonight with their families. So we want to give you a welcoming round of applause for being here tonight. And at the end of the superintendent's report, we will all see why they are here and why they are here with such smiling faces. We will begin our board meeting this evening, the superintendent's report, this evening, with a moment of silence. Last week, the Woodrow Wilson community joined the family of 11th grader Miss Narida Robles to mourn her tragic passing. Narida was taken from us much too soon. She will be missed by so many in our community, and our thoughts and prayers are with her family during this very difficult time. The homegoing services for Narida were absolutely wonderful, and we'd like to thank everyone in the community who just reached out, in the school community and the neighborhoods, to make sure that support was given to that family. We also would like to reflect on the life and service of retired Camden City School District educator, Miss Angie Jones. Angie was also a proud graduate of Camden High School in the class of 1986, 1 year before I graduated. She was a person who was full of life, and she will be missed. Please join me briefly for a moment of silence to reflect on the lives of both Angie and Narida. Thank you. So since September, each of our board meetings, and this is for the benefit of those parents who may be here for the first time, each of our board meetings begin with an update on each area of the strategic plan, each of the 4 areas of our strategic plan, which include accelerating student achievement, ensuring that there is a great teacher in every classroom, leveraging all available resources to ensure 21st century schools built for success, and last and most importantly, putting students first. And so what I'll do now is just to provide a brief update on some key progress areas or key areas that we'd like for your attention to be focused toward in each of the areas. And so under priority 1, accelerating student achievement, here you see some images from our most recent professional development day. On February 1st, we held a district-wide PD Day where all school-based staff received meaningful professional development aligned to our strategic plan goals of accelerating student achievement and also building strong climate and culture in all of our school buildings. For many educators, the day was a chance to step back and take a deeper review of their students' benchmark data to strategize instructional priorities and focus areas to help more students achieve standards mastery. For our support staff members on that day, inclusive of our security guards, our guidance counselors, all of those individuals who may not be a classroom teacher, but play a very supportive role for our students in the building, they also received training. And the training they received offered a chance to learn more about supporting students and school communities through traumatic crises events. We'd like to thank all of the educators who took part in or led this meaningful day of training. Huge hats off goes to our school support team under the leadership of Dr. Taryn Fletcher, who's our deputy superintendent. If you could stand just in case some of the parents may not know who you are, who leads the work, the very important work of ensuring that our students are getting the instruction that they need and deserve, and that our teachers and staff members are getting the training that they need as well. Under priority 2, a great teacher in every classroom. Many times when we speak about what would make our district a better district, or what would make our students' experiences better, or what would bring about better academic outcomes for our students. When we speak with students and I talk to visit with schools, the quality of our educators and the number of substitutes are the most common concerns. So wanting to ensure that our teachers are quality and teachers, and they are receiving the training that they need to be their very best, but also being concerned about the number of substitutes in our classrooms. Students want and deserve a great teacher in every classroom. Our DTLR team is working very diligently to make sure that we are closing the gaps and the vacancy rates there. And so to that end, our school support team is also working with our talent teams to build great teacher pipelines and attract talented educators to work in our district schools. After hiring over 20 educators in the past month alone, our school staff vacancy rate is still remaining at about 2%, because we still have to focus on recruiting and hiring for hard-to-fill areas like math, science, and special education. So we are still moving forward. We are still connecting pipelines. We are still creating new pipelines and connecting with universities to be able to get a more proactive approach in our filling of our hard-to-fill vacancies. We are investing further in recruitment also by finalizing, we have already finalized the selection of a senior manager of staff recruitment who began in February, and expanding our student teacher program through a partnership with Rowan University and Relay. So again, we're making strides towards getting very close to having no teacher vacancies, but we are in progress. And so for priority 3, safe schools built for 21st century schools. So I'd like to provide facilities update for you, and this is an area where I'd like to spend just a little bit of time. It won't be very lengthy, but it's really important because the places where our students are educated, those buildings are very, very important to setting the proper atmosphere and tone for our students. We want them to feel valued, so we want them to be in buildings that reflect that we as a district value them. So at this time of the year, the maintenance and monitoring of our HVAC systems is critical to student health, safety, and learning. Our facilities team has learned some critical lessons from the building issues we have faced over the last few winters, and I'm happy to report we are taking a much more proactive approach to monitoring building and classroom temperatures this year. These efforts ensure that when heating systems fail, we have service technicians available and on site as soon as we possibly can, and that I am aware immediately when temperatures fall below the acceptable ranges. Working with facilities and school support, my goal is to minimize or eliminate totally any disruption to student learning. By taking a more proactive approach to monitoring, we have identified some critical issues, and I'll just highlight a few. At Sharp and Brim, we've identified some boiler trouble issues. It has recently come to our attention that a boiler has failed at both Sharp and Brim schools. These schools have more than one boiler, so there is still heat in the buildings. They have more than one. However, the district is taking immediate steps to make the necessary repairs to the troubled boilers so that the possibility of school interruption is avoided. Pride Academy, boiler replacement. As many of you might know, our Pride Academy is an older school. We hold our Pride Academy at the old Mickle School, 6 in Van Hooker, 6 in Carl Miller Boulevard, and that school was built in 1925. It was also the school where I had my first kindergarten classroom assignment back in 1991. So it's been around, it's been functioning for quite some time. And my mother went there. So I'm saying all that to say it's an aging building that requires a lot of TLC. The original boiler failed at the beginning of this school year and was replaced with a temporary boiler until a new one could be installed. Although the temporary boiler has been doing a great job of keeping the school warm, we're happy to report that the new boiler is almost complete and will be fully operational in the next 2 weeks. Shifting over to roof repairs. Roof repairs in the district are another critical priority for our facilities team. At Forest Hill, we've reached 2 major milestones in the repairs to Forest Hill's roof. First, the main roof of this building has been patched and repaired to get the school through the remainder of this school year, as we talked about in earlier board meetings. And we wanted to make sure there was as little impact as possible to student learning. Second, the cafeteria roof has been completely replaced. Steps are now underway to repair the interior areas of the building wherever possible. Additionally, as you may already know from previous board reports, the third phase of this project will be completed over the summer. And at that time, the remainder of the main roof at Forest Hill will be completely replaced, and major improvements to the HVAC system will also be made. Moving on to Davis School, successful repairs to a long-standing and damaging leak at Davis School have persisted. This persistent leak no longer disturbs classroom learning or school operations. These repairs were made by our own in-house facilities team, and we are very proud of the work that our in-house facilities team members, the work that they do for us. And finally, at Veterans Memorial School at VETS, plans are in motion to make major repairs to other persistent leaks affecting veterans. Competitive quotes have been gathered, and now immediate steps are being taken to mobilize the awarded vendor to start the work. All of these repairs that I'm talking about, I'm being very transparent with them and sharing them because I want you to know that each time we have to dip into our funds, many of these are emergent repairs that we didn't budget for last year. So that impacts the amount of money that we have to have in our general fund. So just want to make sure that you know we're doing everything possible to ensure that all of our young people are being housed and educated in buildings where they don't have to suffer lots of interruptions in their learning. Finally, we are pleased to announce that the district has secured a $30,000 grant from Sustainable New Jersey for Schools, which will be used to develop our energy savings improvement plan. And the ESIP plan is a program to get government-backed loans for capital building improvements that will be repaid through future savings in utilities payments. So we are very excited about the innovative ways that we're trying to solve some very persistent and challenging problems. And moving on to, still on priority 3, Safe Schools Built for 21st Century. This slide just shows you, again, I talked about the work that our facilities team is doing, that our vendors that we work with and we contract with are doing. But we see that the urgent state of our facilities will not come as a surprise to many of you. Since taking over as your acting state superintendent, I have committed myself to just understanding better what it would exactly take to give our students the high-quality facilities they deserve. More than half of our buildings, as you already know, were constructed before World War II, and we have a number of critical issues to address. Over the last 6 months, we have completed a district-wide engineering audit of all of our facilities, which gave us the hard evidence we needed to make our case to the state for additional funding. Here is what we found. Our facilities concerns are more significant than we estimated originally and extend across nearly all of our buildings. There are several projects that are most urgent, projects that are emergent and or becoming emergent, and other sparse and less urgent needs. We are asking the Department of Education for support in a facilities bond to fund $30 million for the most urgent projects. We have submitted $122 million in SDA-eligible projects applications. So after we looked at all of our schools and said, what will it take to make sure that each and every one of our schools are top-notch in every area that relates to facilities, we came up with $122 million in applications that have been submitted to the state. Even if these 2 requests are filled, we still have at least $20 million in projects that are not prioritized or SDA eligible, like our field houses. Sure. I'm sorry about that. So we have lots of our parents who are here tonight who are not English speaking, and so we're going to need translation because we don't want them to leave. So I will be as brief as possible. You're gonna go to the back and meet them. If you need translation, please go to the back. Yep.
Si ustedes necesitan un equipo para traducir, me pueden hablar conmigo atrás, ¿ok?
Thank you, and we do apologize for that major oversight. And so Ms. Ramos will help us with translation, and she has the equipment to be able to do that. So each year we use between $2 million and $5 million of our general operating budget to repair and address facilities needs. Again, as I shared before, we do not have the luxury of continuing to divert millions of dollars from the classrooms for emergency facilities repairs, nor do we have enough to invest in maintaining buildings for the long term. As part of our long-term plan to return to local control, I will be working with the state to see how we can sustain safe school buildings with high-quality learning and working environments. Thank you for your attention. I just wanted to make sure we're really clear and that you know exactly what we're doing to address our facilities needs. And so speaking of facilities again, this image represents a rendering of the new Camden High School. The $136 million Camden High project is on track, and we are excited that it's still on track to open its doors to students in fall 2021. Yes, that is worth a round of applause. We're definitely excited. This means the current freshman class will be the first class to graduate from the new state-of-the-art Camden High School. This week, we received an important project update. The SDA awarded a major contract for the construction of the new school to CBRE Hearing. That's a firm located in Philadelphia. The SDA has assured us that smaller contracts and subcontracts will be available to local firms and to residents as construction begins in earnest this spring and summer. So that means from this, yes. That means that from this project, from this resurrecting of the Camden High School that we all love so dearly, we will be able to see jobs come to residents in our city as we erect this beautiful building. So as all information comes our way, we'll make sure that we share it so that residents, community members, and parents know how to get involved and take advantage of these opportunities. And finally, moving into the final priority, putting students first. As you may remember, in December, my SBA, our school business administrator, Ms. Anissa Coppin. Anissa, can you just stand up really quickly since we have so many parents here who may not have been here before. Anissa is our school business administrator. And so everything financial, she is leading and guiding our efforts in that area. Together, in December, we presented to the State Board of Education and to the Commissioner of Education for the state of New Jersey, and we shared our corrective action plan to address long-standing fiscal issues impacting our business office. The issues in the business office have persisted for over a decade now, and we cannot afford to continue to operate without internal controls and strong fiscal management. So if you take a look on the screen, these are the various areas that we were able to give an update on. As we look to advocate to the state for additional resources, we have to show that we are good stewards of what we already have. When we're able to prove and show that we are good stewards of the resources, that's the facilities, that's the funding that we receive, that's everything that we are able to get, we will be able to ensure that we're able to sustain those levels of funding. And so positive progress is being made, just a few areas, and I won't be exhaustive here, but it's important for you to know we've onboarded a new assistant business administrator. We have onboarded a qualified purchasing agent, and we are in the process of onboarding a senior director of grants and management so that we have the capacity to make sure that we are good stewards of the funding that we have. We are delivering on the corrective action plan to course correct our financial relationship with our non-public schools. The relationship has gotten much better and the funds are flowing as they should. Quarterly grant drawdowns and earlier planning for 1920 grants than for 1920 grants that has ever been happened in the past. So we're conducting more of those drawdowns to see exactly where we are throughout the year. And critically, we completed more than half of our updated standard operating procedures. So we are doing lots of different things to make sure that we are fiscally responsible. Finally, as we reflect on our CAFR audit and the recently released OLS audit, we must ensure that all stakeholders, from the commissioner to our parents and staff, understand that we are moving towards strong financial controls and efficient management of our annual budget. And moving forward, speaking of the Office of Legislative Services, the OLS completed an audit of the district for the period July 1st, 2015 to February 28th, 2018. This audit is available to the public online, so if you are interested in seeing what the details of the audit are, if you haven't seen them already, you can go online, just type in or Google Office of Legislative Services, or you can go to the New Jersey Department of Education website. The audit included a look at the district's financial activities, operational functions, and compliance with the Urban Hope Act. All school types in the city with audit findings are required to submit a corrective action plan to the Department of Education within 15 days of receiving the official report. As we reflect on our CAFR audit and the recently released OLS audit, we must ensure again that we are doing what we know we should do and that we're being held accountable, and that I'm holding staff accountable to ensuring that we are moving forward. So with regard to CUSAC, and CUSAC is a very important tool as we move toward local control. We have shared before in this setting and many others that it is very important for us to ensure that we are increasing our scores in the area of CUSAC. As we discussed in December, we shared that we scored below 80% in fiscal and instruction and program. We wanted to share with you today some updates since the CUSAC ratings less than 80% require a district improvement plan or a long-term plan, which were punctually submitted on time. So very quickly, if you look at the area of program and instruction, here you see some of the key areas that our central office team is working on to ensure that we are growing and moving closer and closer toward that 80% mark in fiscal with regard to instruction. Curriculum planning committees will meet to ensure all curriculum tools align to all CUSAC indicators and revise the K-12 curriculum to include the integration of 21st century skills, technology, and college career readiness. Our deputy superintendent has already begun leading her team in the arduous work of conducting a full curriculum audit, so we're able to pinpoint where we need to align resources in order to ensure that we are getting right-sized in that area. Tier 3 schools will also offer personalized interventions for identified students who score 2 years or more below grade level through strategies such as RTI, blended learning tools, and after-school programming or extended day program resources. And I won't go into detail, but chronically absent, we know that it's very important for our students to be in school every day to benefit from the academic instruction that they receive. And so staff at each school are present to support creating an environment that will help our students to want to come to school every day. Graduation is another area that we're focusing on, increasing our SAT participation, increasing the number of college acceptance letters, and making sure we're growing the number of students who complete their career and college pathways. So those are the areas that we are focusing in on. All of this information will be posted online, so you can take a look at it in detail. The fiscal priorities for the year, I've already shared that information when I shared our update with the State Department of Education, so I won't go into detail there. It talks about those areas that I shared before that we need to improve. And also within our facilities team, as you heard in my update today, we're focusing all year on facilities needs, specifically for CUSAC. All known infractions have been abated and 80% compliance categories for all buildings on the annual facilities checklist. This last report is key. The fire marshal will revisit the district to re-inspect and certify that other infractions were abated in the 100% compliance category. So we'll get a revisit and then they'll give us our score of improvement. As new issues are identified, our operations and facility staff will work diligently to remediate them. So we have submitted all of our plans on time, and we look forward to providing an update on our County 18-19 scores once they are available in the fall. So right now, we're working on our corrective action plan, on implementing that plan, and we will come back to you once we get our next set of scores from the County Superintendent's office. And the last section of our presentation tonight, district highlights. So this is a time where we are celebrating the wonderful things that happen in our schools. And so the first district highlight here, you see a wonderful picture taken at Yorkshire School on February 13th, Junior Achievement of New Jersey, in partnership with our very own JROTC, participated in High School Heroes of the Day. This day of service was done with the Yorkshire School community, and as a part of this day, Camden JROTC High School heroes channeled their talents into inspiring young minds from the Yorkshire Family School. K through 5th grade students learned concepts related to personal finance, entrepreneurship, and career readiness, preparing them to succeed in a global economy. Our next highlight is our 2019 Back on Track program. Camden celebrates 31, that's right, they deserve a round of applause. Camden celebrates 31 Back on Track students who had fallen behind in school, but through self-determination and support from caring adults have now recommitted to achieve their high school diploma. Thanks to the Rotary Club of Camden, PDQ, and Mayor Frank Moran for helping honor these students. It was a wonderful day. Our next highlight, some of our Woodrow Wilson students had the opportunity to attend the 21st Annual Engineering Design Competition, which took place Tuesday, February 19th in Blackwood, New Jersey at the CIM building. The event was hosted by the International Society of Automation in conjunction with Edmund Optics of Barrington, New Jersey. Our Woodrow Wilson High School students who participated were Louis DeFrank, Ricardo Vasquez, and Juan Hernandez. The Grab Bag Event Challenge was to design and construct a sweet bridge using toothpicks and hardened mini marshmallows, and they had a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful day at that event. The next highlight, highlights our district, highlights two of our young women who are champions. Congratulations to Denisha Page, 2019 Group 2 State Champ. I like that ring. 2019 Group 2 State Champ in the 55 meter. And Denisha won the same event last year, making her a back-to-back state champion. So this is her second year in a row with being honored as the state champion. Denisha ran a 7.12. This is one of the fastest times in South Jersey history. And we're making it with our own students right here in Camden City Public Schools. Also, congratulations to Tatiana Harris from the Camden High Girls Track Team for becoming the Group 1 55-meter hurdle state champion. Let's keep going, Camden. This next slide is also connected to our Camden High School rebuild project. Last Friday, the CHS committee members, district staff, and students from BPLA, Camden High, Brim, and Canva worked with the SDA to design elements of the meditative garden for the new building. This was such a wonderful sight to see Our students collaborated so well, and they were collaborating not only with students, they were in mixed groups, so all the BPLA students weren't together while the Camden High students were over there. They were mixed, working together to figure out integrative ways that they could design this garden that will reflect all the students who will be in that new building from all of the schools. And it was wonderful to see them working with engineers, architects, and them leading the design so that their dreams can come to fruition. So we're looking forward to seeing how those elements will be incorporated in the garden at Camden High School. And finally, which is what I think everyone is here for, and everyone has been waiting so patiently for. This highlight is the iReady engagement groups. I'm going to ask our deputy superintendent, oh, she's on her way up, awesome, to come up, and you can stay up here too. The district is involved in an iReady engagement campaign. Young people, can you say iReady? iReady. Oh, come on, say it again, say it louder, wake us up, iReady. iReady, okay, and an iReady engagement campaign for students in grades K through 8. I did it to myself, I started it. The objective of the campaign is for students to complete a math and/or reading card by meeting 45 minutes of online instruction and earning a 70% pass rate. The reward for students who have met the criteria is to be recognized at the monthly board meetings from now on. Today, we would like to congratulate this month's students for meeting their reading and/or math goals. I'm going to let Dr. Fletcher share this good news, and then I'll have her read the names of the students. And when she reads the names of the students, we have a beautiful certificate that has been prepared that they will receive, and we're going to ask them to just stand up front. Oh, help me, Lord. We're going to ask them to just stand up front here so we can get a good picture of everyone. And parents and teachers, you are awesome. Thank you for pushing the young people to get to this point today.
All right, I'd just like to underscore the parents really supporting, especially any kind of support to your child's education, whether it's reading to them for a few minutes, or just encouraging them to do their best, because that is how we really motivate our children. We instill value within them. So just an extra shout out to you as parents. We had over 1,100 students meet their goal. That's really, really huge, over 1,100 students, and so that's amazing. Okay, so I have here with me our K-8 team. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and I've asked them to help me read the names, so they're going to help me with that too.
Good evening, I'm Lynn Price Jones, and I handle grades K through 8 math and science.
Good evening, my name is Corinne Macrina. I'm the Senior Lead Educator of Literacy and Social Studies, grades K to 8.
Good evening, my name is Tanya Wilson, and I work with our special areas, grades K through 12.
Okay, and we are going to be reading names randomly as our students and families showed up, so please forgive me, and if at any point we've missed you, please let me know and we will shout you out. Absolutely. And we're just going to form a random line and hopefully this works out.
All right, Aaliyah Dominguez,
Caddo School.
Sherlyn Vasquez,
Caddo School.
Liani Serrano,
Cooper's Point.
Leslie Villalobos,
Wiggins.
Raimundo Alondra,
Caddo.
Gabriela Hernandez,
Caddo School.
Maya Bonnelly,
Sharp School.
Tricelle Bonnelly,
Sharp School.
Keolani Freeland,
ECDC.
Zanaya Dixon,
HB Wilson.
Yesiah May Lucky,
Cream School.
Noemi Rodriguez,
Sharp School.
Tamise Parker,
Veterans.
Alvin DeJesus,
Sharp School,
Rainier Simon,
Davis,
Liani Saran,
Coopers Point. Oh, okay, that's okay. That's all right. Go ahead.
Christian Sanchez,
ECDC,
Yasmin Vanessa Golden,
ECDC,
Alexandra Juarez,
Caddo,
Samira Tomlinson,
ECDC,
Yomi Lightfoot,
Caddo School,
Aaron Harper,
Caddo School,
Anaya Mendez,
Vets Family School,
Abia Diallo,
Coopers Point,
Mikkel Jackson,
Davis School,
James Marin,
Caddo School,
Yakima Bagby,
HB Wilson,
and Isaiah Fulton.
Cream School. Yeah.
Good job, Nigel.
Say it again.
Nigel, baby.
Abaya Diablo. Thank you.
Okay. Naweed Bonzi,
That's Kramer School.
Akira Garcia,
Forest Hill.
King Acray, and Dariana Lewis,
From HB Wilson.
Jamarion Harris,
Kramer School, I think that is. Cream School.
Shania Jenkins,
At HB Wilson.
Jason Zapita,
Caddo School.
Jenalise Vargas,
Davis School.
Rooney Velasquez,
Davis School.
and Andrew Edwards.
Cream School. Did we miss anyone? Okay.
Evan Brown,
ECDC. Also, if you are a teacher or school leader or principal in the building, could you stand? Let's recognize you because you've been really working hard to get all of your scholars ready as well. We can give you a round of applause. Thank you.
Sharon Jenkins,
HB Wilson. Okay, just want to make sure we got everyone. Again, families, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much for coming out. Before we end this part of the presentation, if all of our students could stand so we can all formally applaud you and recognize you and fill up this room with appreciation.
Thank you so much, and that concludes our highlights. We're so proud of our young people, and we're looking forward to seeing how their hard work and dedication will continue to propel them forward. At this time, we will transition back to the stage where we will highlight and honor our retirees. At this time, Ms. Atwood will acknowledge our retirees.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and students. This evening, we would like to recognize those folks who have served our district well and for so many it's on point in time that we have to retire. We would like to acknowledge and thank you for your service. Principal Busby, paraprofessional for 19 years of service. Robinetta Forrest, K-6 elementary teacher, 29 years of service. Good evening. Can you hear me now? Hello? Okay. We would like to thank the following people who are retiring from our district for their many years of dedicated service. Kendra Busby, paraprofessional, 19 years of service. Robinetta Forrest, K-6 elementary teacher, 29 years of service. Judith Milton, teacher of special ed, 24 years of service. William Pierce, custodian C, 14 years of service. And we thank you for your dedication, and we wish you well, and God bless you during your retirement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Atwood. At this time, we would like to provide our student board representatives, who we are also so very proud of, and who we thank for their consistency in being advocates for not only themselves, but also their fellow classmates in their schools. We will give them the opportunity to share by school any glows and grows that they have for tonight.
It's on? Okay. Sorry. Hello everybody, my name is Kyla Coleman and I am a senior at Camden Big Picture Learning Academy. Something that is going well at our school is we have no teacher vacancies. We haven't had any teacher vacancies this year, and I'm really thankful for that because things are going well. And we also inducted a new platform called Summit, which is working very well for our school this year. It's given us seniors the opportunity to work online and figure out how to manage our time because we'll need that next year for college. Our juniors took the SAT prep class, which prepared them for the SAT, and now some of our juniors and some of our seniors are taking dual enrollment with Camden County. And something that does need improvement will be our heating systems. So some areas of our building is very cold, some areas are warm. But today I spoke with the manager of facilities and we're working very closely with heating our entire building. And hopefully when the spring and the summertime rolls around, we have air conditioning. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maya Cohn. I'm from Brooklyn North High School. Some of the goals at our school is that 65% of the kids applied to college and 85% got accepted 3 or more colleges. We got a newly educator named Mr. Yu. Everyone likes him. He's very well-rounded at the school, and also he's bilingual, so it makes it easier to parents who speak Spanish to communicate with our staff. And also we got heat in our building, so our building isn't cold anymore. We're starting now, seniors and juniors are preparing for the AP exam, which is in 79 days. So our teachers set up reminder counts to help us study and create flashcards. And 75% of our kids attended a college fair recently, and that's from freshmen all the way up to seniors. Some of the goals in our school is that we need school-based youth services, because a lot of our kids, like we had a student whose house caught on fire, and also someone's dad passed away recently, so we just need a type of environment inside the school that can make kids feel welcome and have someone to talk to.
Hi everybody. My name is Courtney Davis. I'm a 12th grader at Woodrow High School. Some things that have been going on that have been great at our school have been the SAT prep classes for the juniors. This is our second year doing that. I remember last year I was in it and it was very helpful. They added 3 new dual credit courses to our school. So more college credits for the kids who deserve it or want to achieve it without having to pay the extra money when they get to college. And school-based and administration has been planning student and staff culture events to bring our school together somewhat and create some sort of unity. Some things we really need to work on. Our students don't really give respect to the authority and the authority figures. And it's not everybody, it's just certain grown-ups in our building don't always give respect to the students, so the students don't feel obligated to give respect back to the grown-ups. We have some concerns about racial tension within our school. And some steps have been taken by the administrative teams. But there's still more improvement that can be done. There's always more improvement and more room to grow when it comes to things like that, especially in the world that we live in today. And we do not have a student ID machine. We don't have a Xerox machine, but we talked about it, and administration has been contacted and met with, and we will have it by Friday, I do believe. So, yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, I know this is not a part of the plan, but we just wanted to say, on behalf of all the board reps, we just wanted to say thank you to Ms. McComb because you're very authentic, and we just thank you for being down to earth. Being a board rep for these past 2 years, I felt like at first, my concerns were just being heard but not being acted upon. But we wanted to say thank you for making us feel comfortable, making us feel like everything is natural and genuine. And that's it from me.
Items that were brought up by our student reps for today have been noted, and our high school team and along with our deputy superintendent have been working to make sure that next steps have been taken. So we will continue to keep working until all of the concerns that they raise are completely rectified. With regard to the heating systems at BPLA, we are definitely still working in those areas. School-based youth services needs, we will step back and take a look at what we can do to provide more supports. Even if it's not through school-based youth services, perhaps what supports that we can provide through other agencies that may be able to offer the same beneficial services when it comes to helping students who have experienced traumatic situations. Thank you also for sharing for Woodrow Wilson, those areas, we have identified those, our fingers on the pulse of them. Our high school team has been working very diligently. I think they spent almost every day last week at Woodrow Wilson High School just to make sure that the building was calmed down after some very troubling issues occurred. So we are continuing to work. We haven't reached perfection, but we are continuing to work to make sure that their learning environments and cultures are what needs to happen. I'll open it up now to any of our board members who would like to say anything or share anything with regard to our student board reps.
We appreciate you. Please continue to share the concerns. That's the way we're able to address the need. So we need to hear from you first and foremost. Thank you.
Yes, good evening. And they're doing a wonderful job. I'm so proud, humbly proud of them. And I want them to make sure that anything comes up, we all have an email address. You need us to know something, you need us to help you with something, you need us to show up, email us, okay? We all have a board address.
I would just like to say what a great job you're doing representing the rest of your classes in the schools that you're in. For those of you who were part of the SBA for Cameron High School last week, it was great to see teams come together from each school and work together as one on behalf of the rest of the students in the school district. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And at this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our general counsel, who will take us into the public comment portion. And thank you to our students reps who are leaving.
Thank you, Superintendent.
So
Now it's the public comment time. The Camden City School District welcomes the attendance and comments of all members of the public at its meetings. This public comment period is your time to be heard on the agenda items in this meeting. Each person who signed up to comment will have 3 minutes. You'll be notified when your 3 minutes are up. There is a timer there on the wall. You cannot yield your time to another person. When it is your turn to speak, please remain at the podium and address all of your comments to the general counsel or to the superintendent. Please conduct yourself in a respectful manner and courteous manner. For anyone whose comments or actions either harass, intimidate, or threaten the safety of any person, we will provide you with a warning or immediately end your comment time. In addition, if you curse, use vulgar language, or make personal attacks, we will provide you with a warning or end your time. We will not interrupt you during your 3 minutes of comment unless we deem it necessary. If a member of the public speaks about a staff member, interruption is necessary to caution him or her of the danger of slander. Members of the audience also should not interrupt the speaker at the podium. If you have any questions, please ask your questions during your 3-minute time. After the public comment period is over, the superintendent or her designee will address your questions to the extent provided by law. So we have a list here of people who have signed up. I understand that numbers were not given out, so I'm going to read the names, and I'm going to apologize in advance. If I mispronounce your name, please don't take it personally. I mean no harm. So number 1 is Lorraine Miller, followed by Wanella Golston. You could please come to the podium. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Lorraine Miller. I live at 41 East Cuthbert Boulevard, Haddon Township. Good evening, Mrs. Picones and the Advisory Board of Education. Now that the new year is here, unfortunately we didn't meet last month. However, it is gratifying to see such good positive press on the website, in the media, and tonight. It's refreshing. We're starting to go in the right direction. I have been very concerned the 2 audits, and I would like to address and question a few of these areas. Tonight I need to ask unequivocally about the safety and liability of the children on the Renaissance audit, criminal history background checks, and employee certification. According to NJSA 18A 6-7.1, all employees of a school or school system under the department's supervision whose job duties include regular contact with pupils must pass a criminal history background check as a condition of employment. After reviewing the data, Renaissance schools failed to ensure the proper background check process for 244 of 798 individuals prior to employment. Then the audit breaks down the following information. 108 were approved to work at other school districts. However, the Renaissance school would not have been notified if they were subsequently charged with a disqualifying offense. 102 were approved to work in the Renaissance schools until after their employment began. 28 did not have a background check performed at all for any school district in New Jersey. 5 were disqualified and should not have been employed by any school. These individuals were employed at Renaissance schools for periods of time ranging from 15 to 184 days before separation. An individual needed to be fingerprinted again to complete the process. According to NJSA 18A 36A-11.1b, the members of the Board of Trustees shall undergo a criminal history background check within 30 days of appointment to that board. It was indicated that 9 of the 20 board members during the audit did not undergo the criminal history. What is the corrective plan of action? Did any problems arise during July 1st, 2015 to February 28th, 2018? And were the incident or incidents reported to the authorities?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Miller, your time is up. Thank you.
Another time or another meeting, I would like to discuss that because I'm very concerned with the safety of all our children.
Thank you. Next is Wani, and then after that, Lavanya Abambana.
How y'all doing? My name is Wanisha Goldston. I live in Camden, New Jersey. I have a total of 4 children in Uncommon Schools, Camden Prep. I'm here today to talk about the challenges I experienced finding the right support for my twin boys. We moved to Camden and they started attending Camden Public Schools in kindergarten. They told me that they were not strong enough to move on to the 1st grade, and if I held them back, they would get more help in order to move forward. Once they were held back, they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's not going to be able to happen. They can't get help into 1st grade." Got them in 1st grade, applied for IEP. The special education coordinator had quit at that point, so we had to put it on hold. The whole year they didn't get help. They moved them on to 2nd grade. In 2nd grade, I'm asking again. They said, "Oh wait, my time didn't start." Oh, okay. So, I'm sorry. And they told me at that point, still in one of the schools in Camden, that I had to wait until they hired somebody else. This is at the Board of Education downtown. I finally spoke to somebody down there, a lady that just worked in front office, said you can actually have your kids tested and their doctor can recommend that they have an IEP, whatever they do. So I had to come out of my pockets and pay Cooper Learning Center. And they tested my children for 5 different disabilities. They gave us a recommended IEP, which I was able to take to Camden schools. We took it there, and still there was no one hired yet in order to do it. Then they hired someone, and she left too, maybe 3 months in. Anyway, so they just kept passing them. They went on into 3rd grade, still not being able to read. So a friend of mine had her kids in Camden Prep. She told me about the school. Her daughter was like struggling with a lot of stuff too from the previous school she was in. And I moved my kids to that school. They started Camden Prep in 4th grade. They told me the same thing, that they would need to be held back, but they came in with their IEP. They said, "We'll hold them back for you, but next year they will be on 5th grade level. Like, we promise you, next year, their 2nd year of 4th grade, they will be ready to go to 5th grade." And they honestly was the first school that actually did help me. We kept them back. They did so much stuff. Like, as a parent, it was hard for me to like keep going to this school all the time. Like, really, I never been involved with the school before. I took my kids to school, I did their homework with them, but that was it. Camden Prep pushed me like, "No, Mom, you gotta come to this meeting, you gotta come to this, you gotta come to that, you gotta do this, you gotta do that." They gave me stuff. This is what you need to teach your kid at home to make sure what we're teaching them at school is stay on the same curve. So I basically just wanted to come here and say I support Camden Prep because they supported my kids when I needed them the most. They stood firm.
Thank you so much. Your time is up. Thank you. Lavanya Abambana, and then Sarah Johnson.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lavanya Abambana, and I'm a proud parent of King Sebastian Ellison, a 4th grade student at Uncommon Schools, Camden Prep. A few months ago, I had the pleasure of sharing my story with Superintendent Katrina McCombs. I'm happy to have this opportunity to share my story with the board and everyone here today. The reason why I chose this school is because I was looking for a school that provided safety and a great education. At its At his previous school, he was severely bullied because of his Tourette syndrome. The school never heard of Tourette syndrome, so they didn't know how to handle him. This took a toll on his confidence. He was constantly sad and felt like his voice wasn't being heard, even though he advocated for himself. I remember my son being mentally stressed out. He was having verbal outbursts and episodes where he would constantly flap his arms and throw himself back. The level of stress was so bad that he didn't want to go to school, and as a mother, I was very scared for my child's well-being. Since enrolling King Sebastian at Camden Prep, I witnessed positive changes in my son. He loves coming to school and doesn't want to miss a day because he finally feels like he belongs. For the first time in a long time, he is confident because he feels safe and he is getting the support he deserves. He's able to concentrate on his schoolwork and is very responsible in making sure that his homework is done. He's not just performing well, he's thriving. I know I made the right choice because one day King Sebastian came home and told me, "Mom, they see me for me, not for my Tourette syndrome." Camden Prep didn't write my son off. Instead, they created a loving environment and helped him become successful. It's amazing to see the progress he has made in such a short time. Last year at Camden Prep, he received awards for Homework Superstar, Scholar of the Month, and perfect attendance every month. I credit his accomplishments to his teachers and staff that care about his well-being.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful story. Thank you. Sarah, and then Amir Khan, please.
Sarah Jocelyn, 1234 Forge Road in Cherry Hill. Today I wanted to ask a question about the Rutgers Future Scholars Program. This is listed on page 22 of the agenda, and it indicates that all 7th grade classes from public schools are invited. It lists 14 schools, and I would like to know how many students from Camden schools did attend the Rutgers Future Scholars Program, and the number of schools for which were represented. This is a significant item for opportunity for young people, and we really need to make sure there's awareness of parents and also among the public of this opportunity, and allow students to have the ability to take advantage of it. I'm asking, again, I brought this up in the fall, it's required that there is a HIB report twice a year. There was not a HIB report yet this year, and so I'm looking forward to when that will be given. If you're going to do it twice in the year and you have until the end of June, it seems like it might be overdue. I also would like to ask about, I heard that you are working on the curriculum, and by the way, I wanted to congratulate you on the number of students that were successful with iReady, 1,000 students. That's wonderful, and I'm sure that you're going to continue to be doing this every month, and I'm hoping we see many of them return and more. This is good. You mentioned that you have curriculum committees ongoing. I believe there are 2 that are not at all listed on the website, and these would be health and PE and visual and performing arts. Do we expect to have that status, those curriculum completed by the June 30th the deadline, or will those be hanging over? The other item that I wanted to mention is it will shortly be Earth Day. And I've seen nothing in any plans. You may be aware that the Camden Collaborative Initiatives has reorganized. There is no longer a separate group that is an environmental educator group. And so they have dispersed the different members to whichever area they prefer to work in. So I'm reminding the school district that environmental education is an important item, that our students are going to be taking those science tests coming up for the assessments. And I haven't heard the results of the pilot that was done last year in Camden. I'm looking forward to that as well. But for my environmental education, this is a hands-on opportunity when we have Earth Day to have participation by students in a learning way that reflects curriculum, even as
Thank you. After Reverend Khan, it's Odessa Morton.
Good evening. You know, first of all, Superintendent, I want to let you know that what you and the other administration for Woodrow Wilson did for Narita the other day at the going home service was awesome. And for those that weren't there, Narita is a young 17-year-old senior from Woodrow Wilson High School that was tragically struck by the police car and passed away that night. But in case you don't know, this would have been the year she graduated, and the superintendent, along with the principal from Woodrow Wilson High School, along with some of the other administration, came out, and they actually bought the cap and gown and put it on a little model there right by the casket. And right there that night, that day, they also gave her her graduation. So she graduated from high school also that night, and hats off, awesome. I don't think there was a dry eye in the place when you guys did that. So, you know, at the eulogy, we said that she graduated from high school and she graduated to heaven. So thank God for it. I want to mention one other highlight that maybe was missed earlier. But I want to, hats off to this school, H.B. Wilson, and the relationship they have with Mount Olivet's Seventh-day Adventist Church. So many of you might have saw on Facebook that they did the mock trial. And it was so awesome because their church adopted this school. So one of the things we've been working on, churches adopting schools and working with before and after school programs, back-to-school school greetings, year-end ceremonies, and helping out with outreaches, but they do a tremendous job adopting this school, and they do a lot of things here. But one of the programs they did was they partnered with about 2 or 3 judges. One of the judges goes to their church, and a couple other judges, and about 12 to 15 other lawyers. And other lawyers came in and helped out. They worked this over a 2-month period, and they did a mock trial at the moot courtroom here at Rutgers. But to see what they did was amazing, to see these little children, 5th graders, coming up there as judges, as lawyers. It was, I think the state against Superman was the court case, but it was awesome. And to hear the kids afterwards talk about they want to be lawyers, they want to be judges, they want to be on that side of the desk instead of this side of the desk. It was awesome. So I want to say hats off to H.B. Wilson and to Mount Olive Seventh-day Adventist Church and to the great work that they are doing. And what I would really encourage and ask is how can we turn around and get that done in the rest of the schools here in the city of Camden? I can tell you that when I heard judges and lawyers from Camden here that worked with them, 2 dozen lawyers, say they want to do more of this. They want to donate their time to come into the Camden City schools and do exactly what they did with Mount Olivet and H.B. Wilson. So the door is open. You got a great church there that works with them and they can help lead you on the way. And I really encourage for us to do something like that in the future. Imagine mock trials done all throughout the city of Camden. God bless you and thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Reverend, I also like to thank you for the help that you're doing our press bearer. I sent you on TV.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, yes. We're working hard. It's a shame that the residents have to go through what they're going through.
Yeah, and I know some people and they was out there when you was out there, so thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. After Ms. Morton is Desmond Benson.
Hello, good evening, board members. My name is Odessa Morton. I have 1 daughter, 3 granddaughters, and 2 great-grandsons. I am also a PGCS and PAL member. I know it has not been an easy job with all that has to be done. I just want to say thank you and the board members for putting the process of completion in motion on some of the projects that have been brought to the forefront at some of the meetings. You have made molehills out of mountains and craters out of canyons. I know there are still some tasks that need to be done, and if I can help in any way, please let me know by phone or email. And again, I want to say thank you. Odessa Morton. Thank you all and have a good day.
Thank you. Next is Jennifer Perez, if you could make your way to the podium. Of course.
Good evening, Desmond Benson, Cookers Plain area resident. Board, I come to you this evening to speak on the work I have been doing in our city with our children and our early childhood. Board members, as I know and believe that every child in the city of Camden should be able to attend a high-quality school and get a high-quality education. But as I work closely around the Head Start programs with my own daughter's school, Osceola Learning, and helping parents with the process of enrolling their students into new schools, I begin to have concerns that there's limited space for our parents to choose a high-quality Head Start program for their students. Our city houses early childhood schools and daycare centers. Yes, there's a difference in the two. Advocating in our city and looking at my little girl and family members, I really can see the difference in the two. I would like to begin working closely with our parents, board members, and staff around my concern. I would like to see all our Head Start programs running at schools. My reason for this request is that we as a team will help better our dropout rates and to help with the success of our students' future. We all know that this administration has been doing a great job, and I thank you for that. This is just one more step we can take for our children's life. I hope and pray that all daycare centers step up and become schools, because it is for the well-being of our children, that our students receive the best education from their Head Start programs to 12th grade. Ms. McCombs and board members, how can we support all Head Start programs to begin running at schools? Thank you.
Thank you. After Ms. Perez, Aretha Charlington, please, make your way down.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I'm also a parent advocate for Great Camden Schools. I'm a little nervous, but I would like to start off saying that I'm a concerned mother because recently, as the young lady spoke about the issue in Wilson with the racial fighting and all that, my son was recently suspended. Not only that, but the issue is going from out of school into his personal life. And as a mother, I don't want to get the other young men in trouble, but I would like to know how can I as a parent help them make the better choices in life, instead of thinking that weapons and violence is the key to resolve issues. My second concern is with him being suspended, I asked him if he had work for the week of his suspension. He told me no. Is it possible that if I can find out why he didn't have work for suspension? And if it's not, can students be supplied that? Because when I was in school, I never got suspended, but knew people who got suspended and work was provided. So I thank you for taking the time and working with, the principal. And I would like to be the parent that if I can help, I would like to leave my number so I can be a part of the solution, not the problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Aretha Charlington, and after Ms. Charlington, Melissa Tomlinson. Can you please make your way down?
Good evening. Hi, my name is Aretha Charlington. I'm a parent advocate leader for Parents for Great Camden Schools. And first I wanted to say thank you, Ms. McCombs and board members, because my daughter was one of the ones that had the Back on Track award, and I thank you for acknowledging her for that. Because like what I'm talking about is she's a teen parent and she was going through a lot, getting to school, taking care of the baby and things like that. So now that she's in a good position now, because now she has the transportation to get her daughter to ECDC, which is down the street from Camden High, where she goes. But my ask now is for the students from Wilson that has to make that same transition that my daughter used to have to make from Wilson to Camden High, and now they gotta go from Camden High to Wilson every day. So I'm starting a petition to ask if the students could get a van donated from Subaru. So I would like y'all guys' support and any feedback that y'all can help me to do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. After Ms. Tomlinson, Kevin Farrington. make your way down. Kevin?
Good evening. My name is Melissa Tomlinson. I'm a resident in South Jersey. I'm a public education advocate, and I read the recent audit report, and that's what brought me here. Some of the questions and concerns that I have were already asked, so I'm not going to repeat them. I do have a couple questions about the enrollment system, if we're going to be looking at something different, because it seemed like a lot of the issues stemmed from not having complete oversight of the enrollment system, perhaps going to a nonprofit, some of the transparency issues. So I was wondering if there was a plan to put something else in place that would make it more of a fair process for our students. I was a little bit concerned when I was hearing about the student who needed special ed services and was being put off and failed. I don't feel that a student should be held back because of the district's lack of fulfilling responsibilities for special education requirements. And so I'm wondering if there's a percentage of students in this district that are not in compliance with the 30-day, 90-day reviews, and what those percentages are, and if there is a big percentage, if we're making some kind of plans to accommodate that. And yes, I know these are specific questions, and I would love to have a follow-up conversation about a lot of what I'm asking. The curriculum planning, the audit for alignment, and the identification of the Tier 3 schools, response to intervention, and the blended learning were the two things that you mentioned. I would like to express concerns about blended learning, only because I see other districts where it tends to become just putting students on computers all the time. And there's a lot of concerns with screen time, with data privacy, all that kind of information. And I actually have a toolkit of training, if you're interested, that speaks to educator and student data privacy protections, FERPA, COPA, all the federal rights, responsibilities. Another question I had, I think, if I could find it. Oh, finally. Sounds like Camden, so I've been coming intermittently to these board meetings for a couple of years now, and I have seen some specific improvements in Camden, but I still feel that we're kind of missing part of the picture of how we can improve the students, the experience for the students, and the experience for the families, thereby improving the community as a whole. And I've been doing a lot of research lately into ACEs, trauma-informed instruction, addressing mental health concerns, and a whole community model, not just for the students and but also for the families and child-parent psychotherapy. I highly recommend reading the book, The Deepest Well, and there are resources and a lot of programs starting in the state that is offering, like I know NJEA is doing this through their priority schools model. They're bringing this in, so that's a great resource. I believe Camden's already identified as a priority school. But I'm really hoping to see this because, again, you're not just treating the child, you're dealing with the whole family, and you'll stop a lot of that generation.
Thank you so much. Mr. Farrington, and then Stan White, please make your way down.
Good evening. We're here to discuss case being denied with back pay or retro from a stipend. In 2015, I spoke to the director at the time about the CEF Film Certified Educational Facility Manager class, and I was granted the permission to attend. I successfully completed all courses, graduated in Rutgers, New Brunswick, May 16, 2016. I was in contact with the former superintendent and designee about tuition reimbursement. Finally, it was granted from the VA. To receive my official license, I had to submit a letter to the district superintendent or designee to receive my license. The letter was granted, and I received my CEFM license. I'm requesting retroactive back pay for the time I held my license to the present. However, I was granted partial stipend this past December. To obtain my license for possibly advancing myself in the district which I went to school in, still working, Camden High 1986 graduate, #1 in the nation. I've done due process only to be told that I would not be, that I did not have direct communication with the VA to attend the classes. It was denied the stipend, and I was denied the stipend and back pay. if the appropriate people were informed to give me tuition reimbursement and a letter of my employment status, why is it so hard to recoup what's contractually owed? Secondly, the discrimination in the schools. Betsy Du Bois is making some serious changes with Title IX, and they are not going to favor most of these districts. I think everything should be finalized probably mid next month. So keep your ears open. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. White, and then Clayton Gonzalez. Please make your way down.
I have no idea.
Oh, is it the clicker for the,
Okay.
maybe the clicker for the.
So I can increase my
power?
time?
No, it doesn't work for that, no.
Okay. Stan White, Chambers Avenue, Camden, New Jersey. I'm going to stick on CUSAC. CUSAC, and I'm going to go back to Betsy LaFrey Young. There was almost 50 people from the state of New Jersey working under CUSAC. And I'm talking about state intervention. Almost 50. I got the names. Where's the reports? And they always talk about Camden City District. We have been under state monitoring since then. Who is being held accountable? Because I truly can't hold Ms. McCombs accountable. She wasn't up there at Frank Cooper in another position, I'm sorry. Something's wrong with this. We're being set up. If you read this report, the deficiencies we had, and what we're saying, what our percentages is, somebody need to find out who's doing the math in this district. Because there's no way that I can believe that we done jumped almost 50% in certain areas. Something is wrong. Can't blame that lady. Are we, because 3 minutes would be okay, are we gonna have accountability meeting to the general public in reference to the state audit report? Please take that under consideration, because any other county, trust me, they would have a meeting. Don't treat Camden no different than anybody else. Be accountable to who believe in every board member up there. Tell it. Because if the state of New Jersey asks for narratives in reference to that report, I'll be the first one to raise my hand to give the narrative. See, they follow a paper trail. No, they need to hear the real deal of what certain individuals did to this district. Going to games and doing all that play. No, he used us. So now it's time to hold him accountable. And the state, thank you, Biden. So board, please consider that, please. We went from state operations, we brought in RAC teams, we went to a consultant. Ms. Blackshear knows all this. Paid people big money. We had a man come down here in a limousine that stayed outside for an hour or two while he was a consultant. Flew in. Where's his report? And then in this report, which bothers me greatly, we spent more time on Renaissance and charter schools at that time period. And this report told us to go out and do Renaissance.
Thank you, Mr. White. The time is up. Thank you. Clayton Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, your time. It's your turn. And after Mr. Gonzalez, Kevin Barfield. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Clayton Gonzalez. Many of you know my title, know my history. Ms. McCombs, previous teacher, many years ago. I'm a I'm a father of three. My kids are in the district. Born and raised in the city. a product of the public school system, and my kid's in the public school system now. I have a concern in regards to security. I'm not going to raise my concern, but I would like if the board could evaluate the ratio among the security officers in schools per student. I have a reason to believe that it's at a high number. I also want the board to evaluate the amount of incidents, non-security personnel, in other words, school staff incidents, or any school staff that have been involved in incidents that might have required security personnel present. I would like for you guys to please evaluate that. And lastly, for about 7 years now, I've had this concern, and I've waited, and many initiatives have been put in place to hire special ed bilingual teachers. But for about a period of 7 years since I've been following it, a lot of our special ed bilingual students have been practically told to this, well, the families have been told to decide. You either get special ed services or you get bilingual services. What good is a special ed service to a child that does not understand the language? What good does it do to him? The same way, what good does it do to him if he receives bilingual services but does not understand the material because he can't comprehend? Currently, right now, on the board website, under employment opportunities, there are 0 employment opportunities for bilingual special ed personnel, teachers that are certified. That's a concern that I've had, again, for many years, and I would like for the board to evaluate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Kevin Barfield, and then Vida Neal.
Good evening, everyone. Today I stand here humbly to introduce myself as the newly elected Camden County NAACP president. And even through still serving in the capacity of special needs president and the District Parent Advisory Council secretary, I just wanted to acknowledge our role and our mission as the NAACP is to ensure political, educational, social, and economic equality and all rights of all persons, to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination. And I'm here to express the concerns that have been brought to me and my attention by the community and issues I have bear witness to. Again, our purpose and our mission is to implement conflict resolutions to the concerns with interventions aimed to alleviate and eliminate discourse through conciliation. We have to bring back fairness, trust, security, and an open two-way communication to reduce these assumptions that we have in reference to what's going on in the school district. And as you know, Ms. McCombs, we had met on the 24th, so I kind of shared this with you, but I wanted to kind of share this with the public. So again, one of the concerns was about the time allotted for us to speak in a public forum, because like I said before, you have the superintendent's report, you have like the day you had a presentation, it was like 45 minutes long, you know, all the different things that we have, all the other government agencies allows the public to talk, and the many of issues and topics. I ask that we, again, look into stretching that time limit. The other thing is, again, the concerns I have with, like what was happening over Woodrow Wilson. Again, the fact that all these students are lumped into one classroom, English language learners, special needs, and general education, there's no way that you can have an efficient classroom being managed by the teacher, because the language barriers. What are we doing to look into those things? Again, funding. The funding and what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing in reference to Title I, I'm seeing it again. We have on page 65 about applying for reallocation of Title I funds. That's been a big concern for many years. Title I funding, IDA turnover, funding that's being carried over. And again, the lack of supplies in our schools continues to be an issue. No paper, textbook, working technology, lack of science, and all these other positions.
Thank you, Mr. Barfield. Thank you so much.
About 3 minutes, so I'm going to come into the board meeting.
Ms. Neal, your time, it's your turn.
The time that we should be allowed to talk about the issue.
After Ms. Neal, Yvette Talley, it's your turn. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I know you guys don't like nobody saying any employees' names, but the attorney, what's her name? The attorney that represents? You're the attorney? Are you filing any lawsuits to get back our money from the Renaissance schools? Because I've seen they haven't paid the bills up to 2016. And these shared service agreements, our cleaning people are going over there, our building maintenance people are going over there, and they're not paying for it. So they're getting free services while our children are suffering. I want to talk about this bilingual thing. You know, United States of America, and when you come to get a government job, the first line reads, you must know the English language. Now, you go on the website, and most of the jobs say bilingual. Bilingual is another word for cut out blacks. That's what it means, cut out blacks. Because we don't have to know Spanish. But if this district is telling us in order to get a job, we got to know Spanish, that's a problem. That is a problem. Another thing I want to talk about is over in Cooper Point. This is February, Black History Month. Why was the principal allowed to have multicultural? That's, you know, we are Black Americans. 400 years of slavery. Do I have to remind y'all? We are not sharing this month with nobody. This is our month. She should not have been allowed to do that. If I was her boss, she would be terminated with a turban on her head. She needs to go. Because it was done on purpose.
Ms. Neal, I just want to caution you that.
Yeah, you caution me every month. I know you caution. I didn't say her name. I did not say her name. You have cut me off 4 months in a row. And guess what? I've been banned from city council for the rest of my life. I'm not afraid to be banned from here. I'm going to speak my mind. You will not speak for me. And what you need to be doing is filing some lawsuits and not pushing a button to get some of our money back. That's what you need to be doing. You and your law firm, with all the money we pay you. Because all I see you do is cut people off, citizens. So tonight I'm going to cut you off. Go file some lawsuits and get the money back, or we don't need you. You can be fired. You're not for us. Skin color don't mean nothing today. That's what we know in this game. You might be black, but you don't think like us. Peace out, proud of my people.
Thank you. Ms. Yvette Talley, and then Mr. Mangalisa.
Hi, good evening. My name is Yvette Talley, and I live on West Street. I'm from Camden. My daughter, Anthony Gibbs, attends Pine Point, used to be called Pine Point, but it's Mastery High School. I attend the PGCS workshop to become a little more knowledgeable when it comes to addressing situations that come up at my child's school, so I can become more effective in getting the outcome I desire. One situation I encountered was trying to get the bus company to pick my child up at the designated bus stop that the school assigned her. The bus driver felt as though she should be picked up at a bus stop 3 blocks down the street and kept driving past me and her about 3 days straight. I talked to the bus driver, he still would not comply, so then I called the school who assigned her that stop. The school said to me to deal with the bus company. When I did, they redirected me to her school. After a few days of that, I went to Mastery and I talked with another assigned representative who said he has nothing to do with it. But I explained to him, today, sir, you will. He called the bus company and resolved it.
I felt as though no other parent should have to go through this. So he said in the next few moments, he would get a better system implemented. And at the time, I was happy with the outcome. Now that I am attending the cohort class, I have learned to follow up and be a part of the solution. I'm hoping that in the future, I will work with Mastery High School and start a parent committee so we will be more involved in the school system, just as much as the teachers are. Get involved with the situation so it can affect all our kids, all our schools, and so the system can positively change. So we can literally leave no child left behind, getting to school or from school. Thank you.
Thank you. After Mr. Mondelisa, Zenobia Jackson, please.
Madam Chair, Madam President, how do you feel about Metro Police? Let us here have a conversation about stop and frisk. Saturday the 2nd, from 11 to 2, at St. Bartholomew School. That is an announcement for all black people and people of color. We're the ones that dying in the street. We're going to change this narrative, start with these conversations. It's going to be 4 meetings. I wanted to say that. Now what this is a volume of African and Latino curriculum that was done by Dr. Robinson and Dr. Malefia something. 4 volumes of these. When are y'all going to teach Black history? Now, even though the 28th is our day, there's nobody in this country that made the contribution that we have made in the world. You understand what I'm saying? And our children need to know that. It's called self-confidence that has been eroded by the teachers that don't even look like the children, that look like the children that they teach. And the union, racists, they won't even allow the teachers to teach honor style. 10 years. This is 20 years. What are y'all going to do? Walking around here with this education. You understand what I'm saying? We need to get into this. And no, I'm not going to give you all some people ask it. No, pay Dr. Santi and them to give you the original. This is the draft. And it's 4 books. This is what you need to get into. It's a shame. Multicultural. Child cannot participate in multicultural if he don't know who he is. And if he don't know what he has done, he don't know what he can do. For your information, the mayor don't even want us to fly the red, black, and green flag. He let everybody else fly. He denied us to put it up for 28 days. Nefertiti, the most beautiful one, created those colors. Before there was a Greek, a Roman, a Chinese, and a European that lived in a house in Europe with shoes on their feet. Okay? That is the truth. You understand what I'm saying? And if y'all don't know, y'all need to get a workshop. We got something coming called Week at Academy for boys. You'll probably hear about it. We're going to tell you about it. We'll see when you all going to wake up to it. But we got to do something about that. You understand what I'm saying? Because bad won't be well for anyway.
Thank you so much. Ms. Jackson and then Ulysses Delgado. Please make your way down.
Good evening. My name is Zenobia Jackson. I reside in Camden, New Jersey, and I have 2 scholars that go to Georgeship Elementary School. I'd like to bring some positive changes, bring them up about Dr. Thompson since she's been principal of the school, such as resources, culture, family-oriented events at the school, class dojo to communicate with the teachers, and a host of other excellent things. But my main agenda that I'm here about today is about the air conditioning units. Hopefully we could work on getting air conditioning units or central air conditioning systems in the building, because when spring and summer comes around, it's too hot in the classrooms for the students. There's no air to keep them cool. And several parents, including myself, will receive automated messages to come pick our children up. Or we may get automated messages saying that school is closed due to the hot weather. Some parents aren't fortunate enough to get their children right away because they work. So there's kids stuck waiting in a hot building or have to walk home in the heat. There are children with asthma that can have asthma attacks. Students and staffs are liable to pass out due to the heat of the building and lack of air circulating in the building. I feel there should be air conditioner units in every classroom or some type of central air conditioning system installed. And this will eliminate the school days from being cut short. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Delgado, and then Monique Ragsdale, please.
Good evening, Mr. Superintendent and board members. I'm a little concerned with what's been going on at Wilson High School. I live right in front of schools. Black kids and Latino kids fighting. I think we're going to need more security in that school and to look into the matter. I'd like to know, I'd like to see my vocational school so our kids in Kansas City can learn a trade instead of sending them to consulting and don't benefit out of it. And I'd like to know the cosmetology, how's that coming along? We're supposed to rebuild it, and I don't know the update on there because the other board member was in here, and I'm a little concerned what the mayor did. You know, they let the Afro-American flag fly up. That's been disrespectful. Mr. Mongolisa, me and him go back 50 years. I was taught only by the best. Michael Max, Martin Luther King, and Robert Kennedy back in the day. They showed me how to stand up and fight for my rights. When he came to Kansas City right here, and my school went there, and he spoke and taught us, gave me the tools. I've been fighting for many years, but I'm getting tired. I'm about to retire, and I want to know what's a little update on the school matter for the Board of Education. I like our Board of Education members that is going to be accountable to the residents. And I'm asking the residents of Camden to stand up. You guys are in Camden here are struggling because they have allowed the politicians to do whatever they want. They continue to elect people in there who's been in there. They're only there to answer to politicians and all this and don't have the concern of us. It's about the almighty dollar. But those who do bad to the poor, Jesus Christ is going to punish everyone. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Ms. Ragsdale. And after that, Brandon Hines, please.
Good afternoon. I have a couple of comments before I even ask a question. I haven't been here for a while, but you know, listening to the same concerns I heard since the last time I was here with security is really concerning me. And also, I noticed in your resolutions that you guys will be putting out a bid for a cafeteria for the lunch program, I guess, or for the nutrition department. I would like to know if you do that, if you can, when you put those bids out, if you can make it public, let us know, so that the residents can weigh on to some of these contracts, because I know there was a lot of complaints in the past about the food, and we really like to see what's coming in the future. A lot of complaints about the papers not being in school. I don't know what's going on and what happened to our resources and why we can't have photocopy paper in the schools. Is that something that's being addressed? That's one other thing. And thank God someone mentioned about the time. There was 2 public portions in this meeting. Many of you who've been here for a while knows. There was the 5 minutes off the superintendent's report, and then there was 3 minutes for public comment. It will make your meetings go shorter, and people can know exactly what they want to ask when they come up, because you know we get those big papers, and the superintendent report was separate. So that would be helpful to not only me, but helpful to everyone who comes here, and then you don't have to be on a timer, because you know this is the people who are concerned about the education that we're cutting off. And I think these concerns are very valid, and some things I want to hear through and we don't get to hear. And being so you guys are not responding, that was something else that was taken away from us. When people ask questions, they would follow up with the answer, and that was something else that was taken from us. So I think democracy ought to come back to the Board of Education. Another thing I wanted to talk about was, I'm glad everybody spoke on it, but that state report everybody that's a board member up here needs to read that. Because all those complaints and all those things that we addressed at this podium for years is coming to fruition. And I'm hearing my fellow parents come up here and complain to the board about Renaissance schools. Can you please explain to them that it's a pilot share program, that you guys don't govern them, so that they'll know, that they can look on the website, they have their school board. I've been to Uncommon's meeting, I've been to Mastery's meeting. They have a school board, so they can represent there, and they can stop going through all these loopholes to get problems, where we spending so much time trying to solve problems when they can go directly to the source. And that's all I'm gonna say for today.
Thank you. Brandon Hines, and then Kenny Watkins after.
I apologize. I'd like to address not only the board but the community as well, so I'll be speaking to everyone. My name is Brandon Hines. I'm from Mantua, New Jersey. I've actually had the option to open the iRise Motivational Speaking nonprofit sector, which I will be hoping to start and pilot in Camden City. I've had the opportunity to speak to Superintendent McCombs as well as Ms. Atwood as well through email. It's my pleasure to finally get a chance to see you in person, and hopefully I'll get a chance to speak to you as well. And so I would like to kind of go over my mission here and the reason why I'm here. I am a youth motivational speaker myself. I was a national spokesperson for over a decade for the American Heart Association and a professional motivational speaker as well. I've gotten a chance to speak at over 200 schools in New Jersey as well as 100 schools in New York, 4 out of 5 boroughs, including Queens, the Bronx, and Brooklyn, doing great work there, and hoping to bring compassion and understanding back to our students. I'm here because I feel that it is more important than anything else. It is more important than any dollar amount and any class that someone could take to understand that each and every student is just as valid as another, and that every single student deserves the compassion to understand the issues that they are facing. I'm here in Camden because I grew alongside a brother of mine, and he's sitting here. He's also my business partner. His name is Francisco Treminio. He had a chance to attend Davis Elementary School. He grew up here in Camden, and I have grown alongside him and gotten to see all of the hardships that have made him into the incredible young man and inspiration to me that he is. I have also had the opportunity to see the pain in his eyes from the injustices that have been sworn upon this community for decades. And I am here to let you all know that I was understanding that I am not from Camden, that I do feel a sense of community, and I do feel a sense of home with the people here and the issues that you have all aired tonight. I hope that through my opportunity and my ability to speak to the students at Camden High School eventually, hopefully, that we will be able to bring compassion and understanding back to our students, and we will give them the empowerment to understand that their confidence does not come from someone else, and that their confidence comes from within. And that if I have the opportunity to sit down with any individual student, I will do my very best, and I'm not here seeking any compensation or anything other than the fact that I want to do the best thing possible. And I hope that through working with the community and working with the board members here, that we can do that, and so that we do not have to witness any more injustices being brought upon our young people here in the city of Camden. Thank you so much for your opportunity. And while I have an extra 30 seconds, I don't need to overstep my bounds. I also ask that I have made the mistake of putting only my name on the open session report. I would ask that my friend and my business partner gets a chance at the end to speak if there's time. Thank you so much for your understanding and your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kenny Watkins. And then Cindy Dawson. Kenny Watkins? Oh, we did, okay. Cindy Dawson? And after Ms. Dawson, Sean Brown.
Good evening, board members. My name is Cindy Dawson. This is my granddaughter, Sanat, who's my youngest. She wanted to come up and share this experience with me. I am a very proud grandparent of 3 who is being educated in the city of Camden. I believe that they and every child deserves...
Can you pull the mic down so we can hear you? Great, thanks.
I'm sorry, my name is Cindy Dawson. I am a very proud grandparent of 3 children who are being educated in the city. I believe that they and every child deserves the best education possible to ensure the chance to be a happy, productive future. With the present changes that seem to be happening and the bold new ideas that are being presented, I believe that we are on the right path. to continue to improve the quality of education our children are receiving, preparing more graduates for higher education opportunities that lead to quality employment. This leads to improved conditions for the entire community. I further believe that we need to increase parent involvement when it comes to our children's education by encouraging each school to have a functioning parent advisory board, as well as a PTO. I believe that parents should have a say in the curriculum, as well as the trips and the activities that go along in the school. More needs to be done to inform parents of the importance of this to our common educational goals. I believe that I can help with this by meeting with parents groups and informing them of their rights and how they can impact their children's quality of education. My first meeting on this topic will be held on March 13th, 2019 at the Ferry Avenue Library. By the way, I am a parent advocate, proud member of Parents for Great Camden Schools. Yay, guys! Please feel free to contact me at 856-842-9774 or email me. I have a copy of the letter for each board member. And please join us on March 13th. I'm sure the parents would like to hear from you, and you can probably advise us on how to get this started. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Brown and then Sue Altman. Please make your way down.
Good evening, everyone. Real quick story. Back in 2005, I worked at Whitman Park, and I got to know Vida, who taught me how to play tonk. And ever since then, I enjoy playing tonk, but every once in a while, instead of playing tonk, I play pity pat. You guys know how to play pity pat? Yeah. Okay, you know how to play tonk? I don't know about you, but every once in a while, I'm playing tonk, and I'm thinking the rules of pity pat. I end up putting the wrong cards down, and people end up looking at me like, you know how to really play this game? And I just think, but I wanted to tell you what's really going on. Sometimes we think we know what game we're playing, but we're actually playing, within a group of people, we're playing a completely different game than what we are doing, where the rules are different than the rules that we play with. And I think that's evident tonight. I think that it has been evident in the audit that's been mentioned that was done on Renaissance schools. It's been evident in the audit that was done on Camden enrollment. Ms. McCombs didn't mention it, but on Friday night, Ms. McCombs and a few others got awards from the Camden Education Foundation. And as she was walking out, I'm not sure who the lady is, a lady talked to Ms. McCombs and was giving her what I maybe could describe as a blessing, and thanking her for being a righteous woman in a leadership position. The politics in New Jersey is so delicate, I think we know that, between the governor, the state legislature, which by the way can't figure out which graduation requirements should look like, a structure with South Jersey Democrat power structure, with a mayor, an advisory board where some of our members aren't here tonight. The superintendent earlier talked about QSAC and gave us an update on it, which is a critical report that whose score will allow us to be able to get out of state intervention, so we have full control over our board as it goes back to elected. There's so many issues that continue to go on in our community, and I hope that we can stay focused on the quality of education that our students get, the parenting that we do. By the way, I was really proud to see my son up here earlier for his iReady achievement. So I want to encourage the superintendent, Ms. McCombs, to continue to be an advocate as she figures out a way to lead in a way that can keep us together, that can allow us to stay focused on what really matters for the students without any distractions from anything else. Thank you. Oh, and I'll play Pity Pat. or Tom, just let me know. Of course, we don't gamble, we'll play with chips.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Sue Altman, then Joy Richardson, then Keith Benson, and then Robert Smith.
Hi there, my name is Sue Altman. I'm a resident of Camden. I'm also with South Jersey Women for Progressive Change. And I just wanted to echo and amplify a couple of the other messages around the Urban Hope Act and the enrollment system concept. As that audit found, the Urban Hope Act was meant to ensure that there would be no bias, no creaming, and no skimming of students into Renaissance schools or away from neighborhood schools. And that the schools in the Renaissance category must adhere to district enrollment and catchment areas. That was a really key provision of the Urban Hope Act and essentially why it was passed and why it was distinguished from other charter regulations. But the state audit found that, quote, current enrollment practices have limited participation of neighborhood students in Renaissance schools, and instead the centralized enrollment system is an opt-in system. The result of that, the audit goes on to say, is that fewer than half of neighborhood students are enrolled in their neighborhood Renaissance schools, which renders the entire concept behind the Urban Hope Act iffy and problematic and kind of on shaky ground. It's further compounded by the fact that as you know, but I'm just drawing attention to it, that the Camden enrollment system is not run by the district. So we collectively in this room don't have control over what you see when you log in, or which schools float to the top, or which ones I put in and then I get spit out after I sort of say which my preferences are. And all of that information is extremely powerful. And I urge this organization, the board, to look really deeply into that, because that is Sean mentioned game, and I thought that's where he was gonna go with that. That is the playing field the game is on, and it is the thing that makes us adhere or not adhere to the Urban Hope Act. So we really need to look very closely at what's going on there. A portfolio system of schools might very well not be in compliance with the Urban Hope Act the way it's being run now. And I would hope that we will, as a community, support further audits and looking deeply into how things are run from the past administration moving forward to make the schools equitable and just for all of Camden students, no matter which ones they're enrolled in. Thank you.
Thank you. Joy Richardson. And then Keith Benson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joy Richardson. I am a parent of this young, lovely lady. She here is a student at H.B. Wilson. My oldest child actually graduated from Creative Arts, she is a marching panther at Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia. Her last 4 years in high school, I have been a proud parent and supporter of the Marching Panther Boosters. I'm currently the financial secretary for the Boosters. And I'm actually just here to acknowledge the fact that as a parent, I have been putting myself out there to be able to support these talented young people that we have in this city. A lot of them do attend creative arts. They are extremely talented. They are very devoted, and we're keeping them off the streets. This year, it was really difficult for us, given the fact that our, Mr. Sabri did get a promotion, and we really didn't have a band director this year, but that's okay. We did what we had to do. I have made a determination as a parent and also as the financial secretary of the Boosters to support the band until we actually do get our new home at Camden High School. But we are trying to raise money because what we do is we do provide food for these kids who work very, very hard. And we are actually having 2 fundraisers coming up this year, this upcoming month. One is Applejack Flapjack at Applebee's in Cherry Hill. It's $15. Anybody that can support, we will try to have somebody available to sell tickets at any of the schools. That date is March the 9th. It's early in the morning on a Saturday, and you can go across the street and go shopping if you need to. And then on the 21st of March, the kids will actually have fun, and there is a fundraiser that's going to be held at the Millennium Skating Rink. Unfortunately, I don't have that figure. We're not selling tickets for that, but anybody that comes and supports, we do get a percentage of whatever we raise, and the kids don't have school the next day, which is the 22nd. So just want to let you know that we are here and we're able to support the band, and my determination is to be there for them until the school is actually built. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Keith Benson and then Robert Smith. Benson left? Dr. Benson left? Okay. Robert Smith?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak today. My name is Robert Smith. I am a videographer and CEO of 1122 Productions within the city.
Can you speak into the microphone?
I apologize. Good evening, everybody. My name is Rob Smith. I'm a videographer and CEO of 1122 Productions in the city. We specialize in telling great stories about the city and capitalizing on the positivity that's going on. I'm currently working with Cooper Ferry Partnership, and we're developing a story about Camden that's highlighting different people in Camden, different companies in Camden. So if you know of any stories, or if you know any people that have good highlighting stories or good, just great people in the Camden, please let me know. You can email me at 1122productions.com. It's the word 11, the number 22 spelled out productions.com, and my job is really to highlight the positivity in Camden. My grandmother, she was a member of the board, Doc Burley, and we did a video right before she passed about just her life and everything she did, and she really loved the board, and her favorite person was Miss Violet. She said that was definitely one of her favorite people that she loved in the board. So thank you all. I see the hard work and the passion that you do, and it's great to meet everybody. Thank you.
Excuse me, didn't I see you earlier today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm getting old, I have to make sure. Okay.
Thank you. And that's all the people that signed up for public comment.
This young man has a program he wants to announce. You want to say something? This young man has a program he wants to announce.
It's up to the board to, if you want to allow. Okay. Can you please state your name, please?
My name is Francisco Treminio. I grew up in Camden for the majority of my life. The reason I'm here today is with my business partner, and I'm proud to say my brother, is we've come here just to tell you that myself living in Camden and growing up with all the stipulations, all the stereotypes saying that anyone in Camden cannot achieve what someone else in, say, Mantua or Malika Hill can achieve due to the education. I'm here to say that I believe in everything that the students in Camden have. I believe that there is a hidden talent that they have that has not been reached or tapped into yet, only because that the teachers that are given that are teaching them don't feel the need that they have to tap into that. These kids, they just want to see that somebody believes in them, somebody gives them that confidence. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to tell you what I believe is right. Now, a couple days ago, actually a week ago, a family member of mine was shot and killed in an alleyway behind my grandmother's house. The main suspect in that murder is a 17-year-old boy. He dropped out of high school and started selling different kinds of drugs. Got into very bad situations. I don't have anything against that kid. That kid is doing what he has to do to survive because of a failed education in his eyes. Nobody trusted him, nobody gave him a chance. I'm here to tell students that they have that opportunity, that they can achieve anything that they want in the situation that they're in, and maybe even greater things than anyone in a better education system, as in Clearview or anywhere out of Camden. This city holds a very dear spot in my heart because it was the only place that my mom, struggling to raise a child at such a young age, she went to Camden High. She loved that school. She met my father there even. And it's crazy to me how far this city has fallen, how far the belief in this city has fallen due to just really bad stereotypes and situations that are going on. The racial issues aren't even a thing to me because I see it as one person believes that they're better than the other. That should never exist in any human heart. That's really all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Francesca, what's your last name? What was your last name? What's your last
My
name?
name is Francisco Treminio.
Treminio, thank you.
No problem.
We'd like to thank all of our speakers and everyone who shared their thoughts and opinions and provided comments and guidance during our public comments portion. I will begin with the first topic, which was shared by Ms. Lorraine Miller, but was also echoed by many other individuals this evening, and also a topic that I alluded to in my opening superintendent's report, and that has to do with the Office of Legislative Services audit, the OLS audit. So all school types, including charter, Renaissance, schools who received audit findings from the OLS audit must submit a corrective action plan to the Department of Education. So there were questions about like what are the next steps and how what are the accountability measures in place for not only our district that did receive OLS findings, but also the Renaissance school districts that received them. So the charter Renaissance leadership have responded and or are responding to the audit and are committed to addressing these findings. Everyone is being held accountable by the Commissioner of Education and his team. He has followed up as a result of the OLS audit and has sent out letters and has CC'd me on those letters to Renaissance operators, providing guidance and just laying out what needs to happen with regard to the correction action plan and also the timelines. So wanted to just share that very broadly from a high level that there is accountability that's being looked at by the state, by our current Commissioner of Education, and all school types that were a part of the audit, including the district, have to present their corrective action plan, and we have done that for our district. With regard to the next topic, hold one moment please. Many parents expressed gratitude for their school type, school of choice. Ms. Juanisha and also Ms. Ivania shared their experiences, not only in the public school system, but also in the system, the schools that they attend, Renaissance schools in these cases. And so again, we like to just underscore that we are concerned about all students across our city being able to get the appropriate education that their parents choose. And so, again, we just wanted to say thank you for sharing your experience. And we know that there are many varied experiences across all school types. And so we're committed to doing what we can to ensure that our students in our public schools also, that they are having an awesome educational experience, which they are. So we thank you for that. With regard to Ms. Jocelyn, you made a few requests. Some of them I have to follow up on. But with regard to Earth Day, in response?
Hi, Ms. Jocelyn. How are you? Can you hear me? Okay, so Earth Day actually falls in line with a holiday that we're not actually in school, and it's also right in the middle of park testing. So what we plan to do, given that testing can be so rigorous and arduous on children. We want to give them lots of opportunity to be outside. So we're giving teachers and schools the opportunity to create very fun and physical type of activities where they can get outside in the midst of our testing schedule that is going to be pretty rigorous because it is in April, the month of April, right along with Earth Day and right along with spring break. So we're going to do our best to make sure that we cover Earth Day in a way that is beneficial to students who need some physical movement in the month that we're also testing.
Thank you, Dr. Fletcher. And Ms. Jocelyn, you also had some other points, and we will get back to you on that. Yes.
I'm sorry, and you also had a question about curriculum review. And so our school support team, together we had all of our departments, all representative of our pre-K all the way to 12 continuum. We have been working weekly on just auditing our curriculum to ensure or to identify what's aligned to our CUSAC and state expectations, and then what our next steps will be. And in relationship to PE and visual arts, those are heavy next steps for us, and some of our most important work is going to start there because our students are working with curriculum that we know is outdated, and so that's a part of our #1 priority, in addition to looking at all of our curricula and making sure that it's all aligned.
Thank you, Dr. Fletcher. And also, moving forward with Reverend Khan, shared some great information on a highlight that we will make sure we have in the next board meeting with regard to the mock trial that occurred and the wonderful partnership that exists between the Seventh-day Adventist Church and H.B. Wilson School. So we do second the kudos to H.B. Wilson and Rutgers for sponsoring such a wonderful program in partnership with our faith-based leaders. We're always ready to innovate and partner with our city's higher education institutions to broaden the perspective and experiences of our students. So we will continue to push, and we hope too that we're able to replicate that wonderful experience throughout our schools. Mr. Benson, Desmond Benson, you advocated for early childhood centers, more Head Start programs being brought in the district. The district works very closely with several private provider programs across the city, including Head Start programs at Acelero and Center for Family Services to ensure quality, equity in programming. Across our district and private providers, we operate over 165 classrooms across the city. Through our collaboration with these programs, we are able to ensure certified teachers, qualified paraprofessionals, low staff to student ratios, same curriculum expectations, so standardization there, high quality materials and technology, and regular professional development. It is our desire to continue partnering with providers and Head Start to ensure effective preschool practices are implemented across preschool programs, speaking to your desire to see high quality programs. We welcome the opportunity to discuss your experiences so that any challenges or barriers in providing and/or accessing a quality program can be addressed. And I would also refer you to speak directly to, if you haven't done so already, Ms. Marquita Nesmith, who is our Director of Early Childhood Education, to get more insight into what is being done and to also think about new opportunities to improve the quality of our early childhood programming. With regard to Ms. Aretha Turlington, I'm sorry, who spoke to, I don't know if Aretha is still here, but who spoke about her daughter and being recognized at the Back on Track event. We are definitely very proud of your daughter, and we hope that she continues to keep moving forward. Okay, and I mixed up two things here. So there was a Woodrow Wilson parent of a suspended student also who had some concerns that she shared, Ms. Jennifer Perez. Ms. Andrea Omatry met with the parent on February 19th, and as a parent group and student participants, they want to submit. I'm sorry, please forgive me, my eyes are going crazy right now. So we will make sure that we follow up with
our high school support officer to be able to provide more information on the Woodrow Wilson High School parent of the suspended student. We'll also make sure that Dr. Abana is brought in to play so that if there needs to be a follow-up discussion that's had, so that the student is able to get any work that was missed. And so the parent, Ms. Jennifer Perez, who has already volunteered to be very helpful, not only with her child, but the other student who was involved in the altercation. We want to make sure that she has an opportunity to be the active parent that she wants to be. So, excuse me, sorry for the confusion at the beginning there. With regard to Camden enrollment, there are lots of questions. There were many concerns raised about Camden enrollment. And we are definitely, we hear everything that's being shared. Camden enrollment, we already know, is an online platform that families can use to enroll their students in any schools that they choose to across the city. The system, we know that there are definitely some areas that need to be tweaked. We continue to seek the guidance of the Department of Education to determine and ensure the best next steps in this area also. Especially given the OLS audit findings that have to do with automatic enrollment for the catchment areas. So as these audit findings are coming, they are helping us also to think very reflectively and also very proactively into the future. And we look forward to having future conversations and sharing any updates with regard to the district and its involvement in Camden enrollment and what that may look like in the future. At this time, again, we're gathering information. I want to be very transparent with that. I'm not trying to not answer the question or to dodge the question, but we want to make sure that we have all the right information and ensure that we are still doing everything possible to make sure that parents don't have to jump many hurdles in order to get their students into the school of their choice. More to come on Camden enrollment. With regard to transparency and plans to overhaul the system, there was a comment brought up in any school across the city. I'm sorry, well, that is a part of the Camden enrollment piece, so we will definitely continue to work there. Farrington, you raised a concern regarding stipends. Please ensure you're addressing your manager directly as well as your union reps by following your collective bargaining agreement. And if there's anything that we can do to support you in ensuring that you get what you are entitled to, we will definitely work with your union leads to make sure that that occurs. But thank you for bringing that to our attention. With regard to CUSAC, we know that the district may have inherited many challenges, but we are being tasked with providing the solutions to move the district in the right direction. We believe the current leadership is committed and well equipped to address these challenges, and we have heard, Mr. White has shared not only today but on other occasions, wanting the community to be a part of the process as we move forward with moving toward local control and having input on CUSAC, and we're still looking at ways to do that. And also, we want to be able to ensure that we are doing our due diligence in this area. So I know a lot has happened in the history in the district in the past, and now it's time for us to move forward. And as we move toward local control, to really make sure we're providing our students with a high quality education that they deserve. And that's also outlined and stipulated in the CUSAC guidelines. But we will have more discussion there as well. Mr. Gonzalez, Clayton, I don't know if he's still here. Thank you for raising your concerns around bilingual special education students, as well as wanting us to examine the ratios of security officers at all of our schools. Dr. Fletcher, if you want to speak to the bilingual education services.
So in relationship to bilingual services and special education services and students who require both, the IEP teams that exist in every school determine the level of services based on student needs, and students with IEPs in general education classes as well as self-contained classes that require language services will receive them through the administration of services by the English as a second language teacher. So that is our ESL teacher. They also exist in each and every building. When students are in bilingual programs and they require special education services, We always look at the least restrictive environment. In most cases, that is requiring the teacher to differentiate, but also including special education services from teachers that are either in the building or from consultants. So we have also hired that service out. And that's always based on the IEP, and the IEP team determines what that will look like with input from the parent and also input from the school leader, the teacher, and the special education teacher.
Thank you. Mr. Monteliso raised some concerns and also advocated for us to take a look at exploring Dr. Sante's curricula, and he has shared that before, and we want to make sure you know it has not fallen on deaf ears. The district is committed to ensuring we're providing our students with experiences that provide them with perspectives that are wide in range, but also we want them to know who they are as well, because we know that's a very critical part of their identity development and developing a healthy sense of esteem. I want to also mention, you talked about the Amistad curriculum. The Amistad curriculum is a state mandate. There are African American history lessons embedded in all of our high school units. Our curriculum team attends summer training for Amistad, and in addition, African American history is offered as a standalone required course across the high schools. So we will always be continuously improving our efforts in the area, but we do have the foundation laid as we are providing lessons in African American history in our high schools.
Dr. Sante told you how to do Amistad through the back door. He did a lecture at Rowan University how to get there. But if the state is going to take away the funds for teachers to be able to be exposed to that, you understand what I'm saying? That it's an academia mafia. Their controls will go there, because when we tell the truth about ourselves, that expose those who have stolen our rights and our history.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. CTE programs, Mr. Delgado, who's still here? Yes. Mr. Delgado, you asked some specific questions about Woodrow Wilson and the cosmetology program for an update. The cosmetology program is fully operational at Woodrow Wilson High School with 3 different levels. We are ensuring that all facilities upgrades for the program are completed. So they have what they need, but they want to even take it to the next level, which would require, I believe, some more electrical work being done. But all of the sinks have been installed, the mirrors. It's really beautiful. I've walked in there, talked to the teacher, seen the students doing hair. I asked one of them if they could do mine one day, but we'll talk about it. But they're doing great work, and we know we've got to continuously improve, but it's come a long way, and so we're very grateful to the support of all of our teams working together, school support facilities, and just pushing, and especially our board members who advocated here. We currently have 11 vocational programs across the high schools. 58% of our high school students are currently enrolled in a CTE class. And our CTE enrollment has doubled over the past 4 years. Now we know that that's not a place for us to rest on our laurels. We have much more work to do. And we want to be able to offer our students the ability to stay in district as opposed to having to go outside of their own district and city to get quality CTE education. And so we're also looking forward to the new Camden High School that's being built, and also being able to strengthen our programs at Woodrow Wilson to be able to attract some of those students back. I Rise, Mr. Brandon Hines, and also the last speaker, I'm sorry I didn't have your name. Francisco Tremenio, thank you very much. We are excited to have a program like I Rise in the city, and we're looking forward to seeing our students participate and see growth. I would like to have the opportunity to sit down and talk with you. I think I got some email information possibly, but we definitely would like to have further conversations. Thank you for sharing your stories, both of you. You're welcome. Ms. Ragsdale and Mr. Barfield, first, congratulations again, Mr. Barfield. I told you privately, and I want to tell you publicly on your office of serving in such a high calling of being president of the NAACP. We have noted all of your feedback, and I will be meeting with my team to consider any adjustments that will be made. And I know we talked about many areas, length of time and speaking. So know that, again, as I told you face-to-face when we met a few weeks ago, that hasn't fallen on deaf ears, but we are looking at when to roll that out and how and if. So we're trying to just
take care of a lot of pieces. We have to dot our I's and cross our T's, but we're not ignoring what the requests are. Some are simple tweaks. Some are simple tweaks, while others may require a bit of a lift. However, regardless of the type of adjustment, we are committed to considering all feedback, and we do appreciate the feedback that you provide.
I just wanted to briefly respond to Ms. Ragsdale. She's still here? Ms. Ragsdale's comment about the board not commenting, responding to the public comment. And they don't do that because the law doesn't allow it. So the law allows the public to comment, to share what their comments are with the board, but the board does not have the authority to respond at that time. And so what the board has done, and you talked about democracies, what they've done is they have the superintendent provide the response on behalf of the board. So that's why you're seeing what you see.
All right, I want to thank everyone, and again, if I didn't get to your specific answer, we can definitely have a follow-up. Some questions I have to go back and do a little bit of research on, but thank you for all of your input and feedback and your attention as always, and your love for our students in our schools. At this time, I want to turn the meeting over to board members to see if they have any comments.
Can you hear me? I would like to get back up for resolution 343. Authorization dealing with Title I to all the different titles. Also, resolution 336. It's all in the same areas. With that, I would also like to get a chart of accounts. And I noticed that there were quite a few late payments. If you could just give an explanation why for a lot of different schools out of the district, why they went back, some of them back to 2015 moving forward. I don't doubt that they needed to be paid, but if you could just let us know the reason why. Thank you.
Well, without knowing what the specific payments are, I can only give you some general explanations. Some of those late payments, particularly the ones that go back several years, could be that maybe the vendor didn't properly invoice. There could have been some transition in the school district. I would really have to see the vendor and be able to kind of look at what happened, go back through our history and find out exactly what happened.
Okay, so I accept that, and I would like to just get the backup for it when you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. We'll make sure you have the backup for resolution 343 and 336, and after we investigate, to be able to fully answer your question regarding the out-of-district placement late payments.
Okay, and I did also want to speak on, I'm sorry, the Camden enrollment. I know for a fact my neighbor has 2 children. One was in Davis School and the other child was going to preschool. I told her to go to the school and they told her she had to go back to Camden enrollment because the reality is one of the children is going to Kipp School, the other one's in Davis. So they have to drive them, one, trying to get both of them to school on time is a problem. And they said that they were told they had to go for Camden enrollment, they couldn't just go into a school and do it.
Okay, if we, not at this time, but if we can get the parents' information, we'll make sure that our team follows up.
I submitted the information to Solution Center.
Okay,
so
great.
They can try to work on it for you.
Awesome, thank you.
And the parental involvement piece, we do have parents training within the Kansas City Board of Education, which is the public school system. When we have our meetings for DPAC, most of the time the parents that are there, they're from parents who great public schools, most of them. Because what's happening is they're coming in, they're getting information, and then they come back here instead of going to their school board meetings to ask the proper questions if they should. So that's why you get an influence, a large influence of parents coming from those areas, but you're not getting parents from the Camden City Board of Education, from the public school district, because basically we put that information out there.
With the, when you send, Ms. Wilson the information, because I was wondering about the late payments. So when you send her that, can you send it to the rest of the board members? Thank you.
Absolutely, we'll make sure, business administrator will make sure that everyone has the information. Mr. Nelson?
So I want to thank everybody, community members that come out to the meetings. And, you know, I would also like to say, just as a board member, we may not always have all the information. So, you know, it's very helpful if you help educate us sometimes. Things that, you know, you may know or have questions about. Again, everybody has their emails, and some people you can reach directly. But it definitely helps if we're made aware of some of the things we may not have knowledge on. So thank you.
Exactly. No? Okay. At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to our school business administrator for our monthly approvals.
At this time, I'd like to present the business office agenda items for approval. They include the bill list and the resolutions. Are there any questions on either?
Yes, I apologize. Did we get copies of the financial report? Because I haven't received one this month.
Which report are you referring to?
The financial reports that you're referring to.
No, they're in here. The bill list and the resolutions are included in your packet. So you should.
Did you see it?
My apologies. We will make sure you get them. I believe they are here tonight, but we will make sure.
All right, then, I won't take the time now. Once we get it, I'll look over it, and if I have any questions, I can bring it back to you through emails.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson, and our apologies. We had the information, it wasn't in the packet. All right, in accordance with the powers vested in the State District Superintendent under Title 18A, I hereby approve today's superintendent's agenda items and business office agenda items.
At this time, I call for a motion to adjourn. A motion to adjourn was made by Mrs. Wilson and seconded by Mrs. Atwood. And I will call the final roll call. Please say present if you are here. Ms. Teresa Atwood, Ms. Catherine Blackshear, Mr. Nananda Nelson, Ms. Carmen Otero, Mr. Andrew Tolliver, Mr. Wasim Muhammad, and Mrs. Martha Wilson. At this time, the meeting is now adjourned.